After a brief lull, the southwest monsoon is back, sweeping across central, western and northern India. The rains have brought relief from the summer heat, but they've also left behind floods, landslides and a rising death toll across several states. Maharashtra is among the worst affected. The number of people that have died in rain-related incidents has now climbed to 22. Even though the rain has eased in some areas, the danger hasn't really passed. Fresh incidents are still being reported, keeping rescue teams busy. In one such incident, several people are feared trapped after a building collapsed in Pune. Rescue and relief operation is currently underway. The victims who are trapped are staff members working at the Antony Lara Renewable Energy Private Limited. In Satara district, 4 members of the same family died on the spot due to electrocution while trying to save each other. The police said that Satish Shinde was changing a light bulb early in the morning when he suffered an electric shock. His wife and their 2 children rushed in to save him. They were electrocuted as well, and all 4 died at the spot. The story is the same in Gujarat. Heavy rains have triggered a series of fatal accidents, leaving at least 16 people dead in the last 3 days. The victims died due to electrocution, drowning and the collapse of houses and walls. As floodwaters continue to disrupt daily life, rescue teams have been deployed across the worst affected districts. With more rain in the forecast, authorities remain on a high alert. In the south, Kerala has been hit hard as well. In Wayanad, hours of heavy rain weakened a hillside above a tunnel construction site near the Meenakshi Bridge. The hillside collapsed, sending mud and debris crashing onto the work site. 3 workers were killed while several others were injured. 3 workers have lost their lives while several others have been hurt. The monsoon has returned to the national capital as well. Heavy showers lashed parts of Delhi-NCR, prompting the Indian Meteorological Department to issue a yellow alert. The Weather Office has forecast more rain, thunderstorms and gusty winds across the region over the next 5 days. In Gurugram, a stretch of the Delhi-Jaipur highway caved in near Narsinghpur after hours of heavy rains, leading to major traffic disruption. Authorities have cordoned off the impacted section while efforts are underway to restore traffic and assess the damage. All right, moving on, the skies over Ukraine have turned into a deadly theater of war. As NATO leaders meet in Ankara, Moscow has been striking with lethal precision across Ukraine, causing much death and destruction in the region. Ukrainian drone forces struck over 20 Russian Shadow Fleet vessels in the Azov Sea and the Kerch Strait. This is, remember, no longer just a standoff. It is a high-stakes race of attrition and survival.
Night turns to fire across Ukraine as Russia ramps up its aerial bombardment to a terrifying new level. Ballistic missiles rock the capital, turning residential blocks into infernos. Civilians are caught in the crosshairs of an increasingly unpredictable campaign designed to shatter the nation's resolve. The air defense shield is stretched to its absolute breaking point. Yet, the onslaught refuses to slow down. From Kharkiv to Kyiv, the scenes are similar, but Kyiv is refusing to back down. In a 72-hour blitz, Ukrainian forces launched a drone offensive targeting Russia's economic lifeline. Over 20 Shadow Fleet vessels were reportedly struck in the Azov Sea and the Kerch Strait. After launching devastating strikes across Russian oil refineries and causing massive shortage of fuel, Ukraine is going after the ships carrying it across the sea. This comes at a time when Ukraine's president is in Ankara to shore up support from NATO nations. President Donald Trump says US will give Ukraine license to make Patriot missiles to counter Russia.
The fact that we'll give them the right to make Patriots. We'll show them how to do it. It's very complex, actually, but it's you'll figure out the complexity quickly. And we're talking about that, and the company that makes them which is building now 4 plants. You know, all of our companies will be able to do this in 2 to 3 months. If you order a Patriot, now you have to wait a long time for them. Same thing with Tomahawks.
Russia has sharply increased the scale and frequency of long-range strikes in recent weeks, attempting to stretch Ukraine's air defenses and wear down public morale. Kyiv is answering with a strategy that reaches far beyond the front line, and somewhere between burning apartment blocks and damaged oil tankers lies the next phase of this conflict. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Unprecedented wildlife migrations are reshaping the human-animal conflict worldwide. Species once confined to tropical lowlands are now moving into high-altitude regions. In Arunachal Pradesh, researchers spotted signs of an elephant at over 10,700 feet, which is one of the highest ever records for Asia's largest land mammal. Our next story explains you all the details.
Environmental shifts and habitat fragmentation are pushing wildlife far beyond their traditional geographic boundaries. In mountain ranges across Asia, experts are observing anomalies that challenge established ecological frameworks. Species built for dense lowland jungles are climbing steep gradients into cooler temperatures. This rapid migration creates immediate safety risk for rural settlements completely unprepared for tropical encounters. In the northeastern Himalayas, wildlife researchers utilizing specialized camera traps captured images of an Asian elephant at an altitude of over 10,000 feet inside the Eagle Nest Wildlife Sanctuary. This observation marks the highest recorded elevation for the species in India. This matches trends seen in Kenya, where African elephants have ascended up to 13,000 feet. Elephants are creatures of forests, grasslands and river valleys. They depend on vast landscapes, abundant vegetation and reliable water sources. Yet, researchers now believe changing weather patterns, shifting food availability and increasing pressure on traditional habitats may be encouraging some herds to explore higher elevations. The elephant is not the only species climbing higher. King cobras have also been reported at unusually high elevations. As many as 10 poisonous snakes were found close to Mount Everest. Scientists warn that rising global temperatures are forcing these tropical reptiles to nest and breed at higher altitudes. The planet's living systems are in motion. More exploration and analysis is necessary to better understand and equip ourselves to navigate the changing world. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
US President Donald Trump's affinity for political strongmen is well known. For instance, his first overseas visit during his second term was Riyadh, where he met with Saudi Arabian Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, with whom he has a good bond. In the last few months, though, 2 more persons have emerged as his favorite Muslim leaders. One of them is seen to be Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. While visiting Ankara for the NATO summit, Donald Trump was greeted personally by Erdogan at the airport. He was also escorted on the streets of Ankara by a guard of riders on white horses. Trump heaped praise on Erdogan and also announced that the US will lift sanctions on Turkey, which he described as a fantastic NATO ally. He also revealed that he's considering selling F-35 jets to Turkey, which has the second largest army among the NATO countries. Now remember, this is significant as the US Congress passed a law in 2019 prohibiting F-35 sales to Turkey as long as it retains Russia's S-400 surface-to-air missile systems. A year later, Washington imposed sanctions on Turkey over the procurement of S-400s. The country, remember, was also removed from the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter program. In yet another sign of bonhomie with Erdogan, Trump hinted that he may have skipped the NATO summit altogether owing to his disenchantment with the bloc if it were not held in Turkey. His close ties with Erdogan also assume significance in the context of Turkey not interfering in the Iran war, despite it being at loggerheads with Israel.
Well, I want to thank you very much. As everybody knows, it's been very much reported. We are great friends. The president has done an incredible job. Just landing at the airport, to see such a beautiful airport, and to have a building named after me. I was very happy about that. That was great.
Now, another personality who has been at the receiving end of Trump's generosity and praise is Pakistan's army chief, Asim Munir. Since last year, the American president has publicly lauded Munir multiple times, and he's also described him as his favorite field marshal. In fact, Trump also credited Asim Munir's role in the mediation process with Iran.
Pakistan was fantastic. The Prime Minister and I call him the general. He's a general. He's a great general. He's so great that he's actually a field marshal, a step above.
Now, the United States has backed Pakistan's military dictators for decades, whether in the name of curbing communism in the region or fighting terrorism. For instance, US aid to Pakistan increased during Zia-ul-Haq's rule after the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan back in 1979. America has also supported General Musharraf, who staged a coup to oust Nawaz Sharif as the Prime Minister in 1999 as he extended support to its war on terror post the 9/11 attack. Now, what makes Asim Munir's situations unique is that he hasn't formally assumed the reins of power in Pakistan. Remember, while his predecessors had access to the Pentagon, he's the first army chief in a civilian government to have been hosted by the White House for a meeting in the Prime Minister's absence. However, the United States had a rather interesting explanation for the Munir-Trump meeting that took place in June last year. White House spokesperson Anna Kerry said that Trump hosted Munir as he called for the US president to be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize.